Let's talk about divisibility test. How do I know if a number is divisible by 2? An integer is divisible by 2 if its last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, if it is an even number. All of these numbers are divisible by 2. Divisibility by 3. An integer is divisible by 3 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. The number 2,451, is it divisible by 3? Well, let's add its digits. Well, the sum of its digits is 12, which is divisible by 3. So, 2,451 is divisible by 3. Divisibility by 4. An integer is divisible by 4 if the last 2 digits are divisible by 4. 17,028. The last 2 digits, 28, is divisible by 4, so the larger number is also divisible by 4. 7,532. The last 2 digits, 32, is divisible by 4, so the whole number is divisible by 4. Divisibility by 5. An integer is divisible by 5 if the last digit is either 0 or 5. All of these numbers end with a 0 or 5. They are all divisible by 5. Divisibility by 6. An integer is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3. The number 3,276, it is an even number. It ends with a 6. If I add the digits, I find that the sum of the digits, 3 plus 2 plus 7 plus 6, is 18. 18 is divisible by 3, so the whole number is divisible by 3. 3,276 is divisible by 2. It is divisible by 3. So yes, it is also divisible by 6. Divisibility by 7. There is no good test for divisibility by 7. Divisibility by 8. An integer is divisible by 8 if the last 3 digits are divisible by 8. 4,016. The last 3 digits is 16. 16 is divisible by 8. So 4,016 is also divisible by 8. 35,120. The last 3 digits, 120, is divisible by 8. So the whole number is divisible by 8. Divisibility by 9. An integer is divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. 38,502. Let's see if it is divisible by 9. The sum of the digits is 18. 18 is divisible by 9, so 38,502 is divisible by 9. And finally, divisibility by 10. An integer is divisible by 10 if the last digit is 0. Which of the following numbers is 50 divisible by? Is it divisible by 2? It is an even number. It ends in 0. So yes, it is divisible by 2. Is it divisible by 3? Add the digits. 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. 5 is not divisible by 3, so 50 is not divisible by 3. Is it divisible by 5? It ends with a 0, so yes, it's divisible by 5. Is it divisible by 9? add the digits. 5 plus 0 is 5. So no, 5 is not divisible by 9, so neither is 50. Is it divisible by 10? It ends in a 0, so yes. Which of the following numbers is divisible by 5, 6, and 8? Well, let's check for 5 first. It has to end with a 5 or a 0. All of those work for 5. Now let's check with 6. A number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by 2 and 3. In order to be divisible by 2, it has to be an even number. Well, I can quickly take off 735 because that is not an even number. The answers for B and C are both even numbers, so they are divisible by 2. But are they divisible by 3? Well, let's add the digits. That is equal to 9. 9 is divisible by 3. So 32,400 works for 6. What about 1,230? It is even, so it's divisible by 2, but is it divisible by 3? Well, let's add the digits. 6 is divisible by 3, so this entire number is divisible by 3. So both of these work for 6. Now let's check for 8. For the rules of 8, you look at the last 3 numbers. The answer for B, 32,400. 400 is divisible by 8, so 32,400 will also be. 230 is not divisible by 8, so that entire number will not be divisible by 8. 32,400 is divisible by 5, 6, and 8.